Hey guys, I just wanted to chat with you right quick. I feel like today is just such a weird day, but so showing you guys the scene of outdoors in like the backyard and stuff. It seems so crazy today. Like, I don't know, just things seem really weird with the weather because this entire, like, everything I'm showing you from all the way over the left, all the way to the right, like, even going all the way back with all the trees, and even wrapping around the entire house. Everything you're looking at right now, like, even that, all the trees you see, earlier, everything was, like, completely littered and covered in snow. Like, you honestly would have thought that it was, like, November or December. Like, it looked like the perfect, like, Hallmark Christmas wonderland out there earlier, because it wasn't just like a little dusting. Like, everything was literally entrenched, covered, completely submerged in snow. And honestly, I didn't even know it was snowing because it seemed like such a normal, bright spring day. But then when I eventually looked outside, I saw everything was literally covered, every single thing as far as the eye can see, like a winter wonderland. And it was snowing extremely hard. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I didn't know it was snowing. And then I'm not kidding you guys when I tell you this. Literally less than an hour later, I wouldn't even say an hour, I would say more like 20 or 30 minutes later, I went to go do something, and then I went back to look outside, and it's like exactly what you're seeing now is what I saw. Like, everything was melted. It wasn't just like melted, it was completely gone, as if the snow never even happened. Like, there's not one single trace, a puddle of water, like nothing. Like, every single thing was completely gone and erased. Like, from every single branch, every single tree, everything was not one trace piece of snow left. And the sun was shining extremely bright, like it was a normal spring day. And it hadn't even been like 30 minutes, and an entire winter wonderland had just completely disappeared. And it just turned back to normal. And then, twice after that, it just started fluctuating very quickly between normal spring, then it just started coming down, snowing again, like it was the middle of winter. But then it would like switch, flip-flop back and forth very rapidly. And this is all within a matter of not even maybe 2 hours. All of this happened. So I just felt like that was extremely strange. I mean, if you ask me, like, I understand we're transitioning into spring and all that, and I'm very, very familiar with the weather of the state that I'm inside of, but it's like, I had never seen anything to that extent before. So I just thought that was really strange. I wanted to share with you guys. I don't exactly know what's going on, but for some reason, when I saw all the snow out there this morning, it reminded me, I saw God's Healer 7 video, Sister Barbara and Brother Dan. I saw their video probably not even 2 or 3 days ago. It's very recent. And I just remember in her word, when she was reading her prophecy, I remember the Lord was saying that his judgment was here. And then after that, he said, his storehouses of snow in heaven, I guess that he's had like locked away for a time in the season for judgment. He said that his storehouses were ready, and I believe he said that that they were now being opened, his storehouses of snow. And then inside of that word, he also had said that the tribulation had began. So I just took that as like judgment. So yeah, it reminded me of that word. Not sure exactly what's going on. I just know the weather is acting extremely erratic and crazy. But it was a couple of other things I wanted to show you guys. And I'm honestly praying like all of this is just not me tripping or my imagination. I'm just honestly praying like all of this is just more confirmation and more signs, guys, that we're getting closer and closer to things wrapping up, you know, and the Lord's return and us being delivered and set free from inside of this wicked world. But it's a couple of other things I wanted to show you guys also that also happened today. I thought was quite weird. But this video down here, when I got online today, it was just a story saying, I guess Trump had signed an executive order regarding technology. And it was like basically trying to block all of these tech companies, especially foreign ones, from merging together and linking up and I guess like centralizing their power. I don't really understand all of the details. I just know that that's kind of a summary of the executive order, and that he doesn't, a lot of the, like, even if you go back a couple of months, I think he was like forbidding one of the cable companies and also AT&T from merging. So I guess from his perspective, he doesn't want all of these mega tech and telecommunication. See, guys, I don't know if you can see because this camera is really cheap and old, but look, guys, just like extreme hard winter snow is just instantly started back. So yeah, this camera is really low quality. It's not capturing the full thing, but if you could see the wind and the snow, it's like really howling and starting back up. But anyway, back to the story I was telling you about. So yeah, he, for whatever perspective he has, doesn't want these mega tech corporations to like get too big and centralize all their power. And then it's like his policy, and I guess America's policy, they especially don't want foreign tech companies to overpower what we have going on here or like beat us. Basically, we're in a technology race. The world is right now. And so he signed an executive order to try and stop, I guess, a China merger with a company we have going on here. And then I noticed a couple of days ago, they just been saying that he's been, I don't know if, I can't remember if it's called tariffs. I don't know what it is. I just know it has something to do with coming against, whoa. That's crazy. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's not really showing up that well on here, but it's pretty serious. Alrighty. Then it just reminds me of all the back-to-back-to-back nor'easters that are just hitting nonstop on the East Coast. And I remember inside of Sister Barbara's word, it also said, it didn't mention just snow. The Lord was saying the wind, his storehouses of snow are ready to be released, and also the wind obeys his command. So like all the turbulent winds and storms. So I know a lot of it is also man-made, manipulated, but it's like the Lord is allowing those evil manipulations to occur. He's no longer having his protection over the world and this nation like he used to. So every manipulation that they're doing, he's kind of like letting them have their way because of judgment. Because also in that same word, you guys can check it out, her channel, Godzilla 7, but I just remember also in that same word, it was saying that the destroyer is now here and he's visiting people right now inside of these judgments. that are beginning to be poured out. Of course, this doesn't have anything to do with the bride. I mean, for like, you know, the wicked, unrepentant, unprepared people, unprepared spiritually, that the destroyer is now visiting upon them as we speak. And we're approaching Passover. March 30, the last day of March is Passover, and then also that same night on Passover, we're having that another blue moon. And so I remember in her word, it was just saying like, you know, will the destroyer pass over your house, just like in the Old Testament. But as the prepared bride, and just the church in general, you know, our goal is just to have that relationship with Christ and have that, the blood of the Lamb over our doorposts. And as long as we have that in order, none of this stuff it's no need to fear or worry about any of this stuff. Like I said before, the bride is just observing these things being carried out. But anyway, sorry to get off track. I lost my place, but basically I noticed, the key thing that stood out is, guys, I cannot believe this, but the executive order he signed today, and the merger, like the company, the tech company, China, and whatever they was trying to do, the merger was worth $117 billion. So there's 17 again. The Lord just can't, this nonstop giving this as a sign. And I know that we're approaching March 17th, and I'm going to touch on that very shortly in a minute because I have some updates regarding that, which is we're waiting for the biblical New Year, and we know that March 17th is the first possible date that it can happen. So, guys, these 17s just keep popping up and pouring out as signs that we're getting closer and closer. If you haven't watched my video yesterday, you'll want to check that out because there were a lot of 17s in there as well. And also Trump was in there as well. And here he is again popping up with 17. But as you can see, it was a $117 billion tech merger deal that was, I guess, destroyed because of Trump. He signed an executive order to prevent it from going through. And as you can see right here, it's saying it's all about China and 5G. So there goes that 5G again, guys, which the Lord has been bringing up, not just in my videos, but I've seen several other brothers and sisters in Christ and just people, period, touching on this rise of this 5G. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not 100% sure what all this is mean. I just know that it's dealing with the same subject matters and signs. So I thought that was extremely interesting, that 5G and 17 will pop up again. And it also has to do with a technology bill. And I kind of almost feel like the things that Trump is doing right now, I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying I disagree with them, but at the same time, I kind of feel like, you know, since this is a money-based world where people worship and glorify money, that's their God, I feel like a lot of the moves that he's making are very provocative when it comes to these foreign powers like Russia, especially China. Because I feel like once you start doing things that are getting in the way of them, you know, making more and more of their billions and billions of dollars and having their God money, I feel like that's where things start getting dangerous and sticky and hairy. So, I don't know. I almost kind of feel like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but I just feel like conflict or war. I'm just getting a war vibe from all of these movements. But anyway, on to the next thing. Oh, speaking of war, also I was just, scrolling, minding my business. I don't go out looking for this stuff. It just finds me, I swear, and pursues me. But this is just a still photo I caught, and I was scrolling, and then this video popped up where Trump, this is like the third time he's been mentioned, because yesterday he was in my video, and then today he's in here twice. And so, but in this instance, this story, he's addressing the Marines and the military. So I'm not really sure what event this is or why he's addressing them per se. They didn't really give any information on this video. It could be nothing, could just be a normal event. I'm not sure. I just know that today he's addressing them, and they're not giving any details. Like, I tried to click to read, like, you know, what kind of gathering or celebration or what this is, but they didn't give any details, so I really don't know. I just know he's addressing the military, specifically the Marines. But so it caught my eye because it was live, so I'm assuming this is happening today or right now or a little while ago. And so when I went to go listen to it, I noticed the number of subscribers that the White House has. As you can see right here, we have both 37 right here, which was one of our sign numbers, confirmation numbers, which meant an alert and a warning when it's for the world. And then also we have 17. So the fact that I was just doodling around on my phone and happened to click and look down, and both 37 and 17 are both inside of the number of subscribers that the White House has for a video of Trump addressing the military or the Marines. And then I also noticed there's some sort of, what do you call it? There's also some sort of regime change happening right now. Like, I just saw, like, I guess we're getting a new director of the CIA, and he just fired our Secretary of State. So there's like some movement happening with kicking people out and putting new people in positions right now. But, so yeah. So this is just basically my viewing history page of the videos I watch, and that was just the 2 videos I just were talking to you guys about right here. But then I also noticed, which is, here we go, 17, guys, again, just happens to be right here for the timing of this video that's inside of my history. I think I watched this earlier, and actually he's talking about chemical warfare and the agenda like that. A lot of the things that I also share in his video happened to be 517. And then right under that is Pastor Sandy's video with 17 minutes and 50 seconds for his video on, what, 2017. Let's go fishing. So I see a lot of confirmations. We're headed for a season of change. That's all I can say. So all of these 17s are pointing to the new biblical new year. Nissan 1, that's what we're waiting on. And in this video, this Pastor Cindy video, he actually shows where if you add up all the numbers up to 17, like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 and so on, and if you do that 1 through 17, that you'll end up with 153, which is the number of the full net of fish from the New Testament, which is basically, you know, harvest, ministering, gathering the fish, going fishing. That's why he labeled it Let's Go Fishing. He's saying in the small amount of time we have left. But moving on, I want to talk to you about this. Watchman for That Great Day, his channel, he posted today the Barley report from Israel. So just in case you're not familiar, basically right now, this is what we're waiting on. We're waiting on the biblical new year transitioning into the real 2018 on the Lord's calendar, how he counts time. So that's what we've all been waiting for, because that's what he said and promised us. It's going to be a season of hope and change for us. And so in order to qualify for the new year, Nisan 1, you have to have a mature barley harvest ready to be harvested. And then you also have to see the new moon, from my understanding. And so he was just announcing, and I'll leave the link to his video, but he was basically celebrating, blowing the shofar, announcing that he checked the website of the people who are in Israel who checked the harvest, the barley, and they said that it was almost ready and that it's going to be ready before the end of this month, before March 31st, that it's going to be fully mature and ready. So we know anytime between now, basically in the next week or so, it's going to be ready for harvest. And so he's just saying that because of that, we can know that basically the new year is going to start this month. I'm just sharing what he's putting forth and adding to the table as far as a puzzle piece. I can't say 100% for sure, because I'm just now starting to study and learn all these things, the Lord's ways, as far as the biblical calendar and stuff. But I do know we were waiting on the barley harvest, and I do know that they're reporting that it's mature and almost completely ready. So that's great news. The last thing I wanted to show you guys was also about waiting, guys, for Nisan 1, or waiting for the new biblical new year. Please don't tell me I closed that window out. That would be a disaster, guys. I think I did. Let me see if I can try and find it. If not, I'll just come back with a short little clip. Matter of fact, yeah, I'll just end this here. And then I'll make like a 2 or 3 minute video showing you guys this sign that I wanted to show you regarding waiting on the new moon and the new year to begin.